purpose for us recording this meeting on today is so that if any parents did not have the opportunity to make today's meeting, that they will have access to that information. So we are just so excited to have each and every one of you here with us on today, and we'll be starting shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it is 10 o'clock. It's time to get started. So, good morning, parents and family members, Henry County staff, district and community stakeholders. Zwacom, bienvenue, bienvenidos, and welcome to our District Title I Input Meeting. I am Kimberly Howard. I'm your District Title I Family Engagement Specialist, and I support all of the family engagement liaisons and programs in our 24 Title I schools. And we are so excited to have you join us today. Thank you for logging in. I'm going to allow our interpreter for today to just give some information to any families who are on that need the meeting in Spanish. And that is Ms. Norma Santiago Bell.
Buenos días, bienvenidos todos. Prontamente se pueden unir con el enlace que está en la caja del chat a la versión en español de la reunión de aportes y opinión para padres y familias del Distrito de las Escuelas del Condado de Henry.
Gracias. Okay, and so we're going to turn it over to my teammate, Dr. Shaw.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. As we prepare to go into the work of our time together today, we always want to begin our work by grounding ourselves in the work set forth by our Henry County Schools Board of Education. As many of you know, our Board of Education has developed and is implementing a community-inspired strategic plan that was informed and developed by the input of our families and community members at input sessions, much like the one that we're having today. This strategic plan guides our time today as we work collectively to ensure a high-quality, world-class education for every student.
So the purpose of our meeting today is to develop or utilize the current plan that we have for our District Title I Family and Parent Engagement Plan to create our new plan for the upcoming school year with parents' involvement. So today we're going to ask for you to be engaged in this process as we attempt to go ahead and develop or get together all of the information to develop the plan for the upcoming school year. So our commitment is all around student success. So our core beliefs are around that. So we believe that family and community engagement is pivotal in making sure that we do what is best for students. So our commitment is to foster those connections between home and school. And the only way that we can do that is with parents being involved. So we commit to ensuring that we can make that connection between family and school.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. And before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge our federal programs and Title I team. Some of them you've already heard from, and I will introduce our facilitators in just a moment. But I do want to acknowledge our team members that are on the call today. Our budget facilitator, Ms. Keisha Hendricks, our program facilitator, Mercedes Worthy, the federal programs admin assistant, Ms. Tiffany Brown, and other members you're going to meet very shortly. And we proudly serve, of course, under our superintendent, Dr. Mary Elizabeth Davis, but also under the division leadership of Dr. April Madden, who is the Chief of Family and Student Support, and Mrs. Latrina Coxton. You'll meet her in just a second as well. Executive Director of Special Services and Educational Support, and our new Federal Programs Director, Mr. Arthur Blevins. Special thanks always goes out to our amazing school family engagement liaisons, some of who are on the call, and our parents, you should know who they are in your buildings. And we also want to acknowledge any district leaders and staff that are on our call today. You've already heard from our interpreter, Mrs. Norma Santiago Bell. And at this time, if you do need the meeting in Spanish, if there are any Spanish-speaking families still on the call with us, utilice este enlace para unirse a la reunión en español. And that link is in the chat. And supporting her in the Spanish meeting today is our newest team member, a district instructional lead teacher, Mrs. Dion Gould. Our meeting facilitators today, some of you have already heard from them, are Melissa Atkins, one of our district school improvement specialists, Dr. Crystal Shaw, our other school improvement specialist, Dr. Katie Breedlove, who is one of our district instructional lead teachers, and myself, Kimberly Howard, your district family engagement specialist. And also assisting us today with our Thought Exchange platform is our Executive Director, Mrs. Latrina Coxton.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to be collecting your inputs. We want your thought, your perspective, specifically around our district's parent and family engagement plan. This plan establishes the district's expectations and objectives for family engagement, and this will guide the strategies and resources that strengthen school and parent partnerships in our Title I schools. This plan describes our commitment to engage families in the education of their children and to build a commitment and to build a commitment around the engagement strategies and activities that are designed to achieve the district and student achievement goals. And here's where you come into play, parents. How can we, as Henry County Schools, how can we achieve these goals and objectives in a meaningful way that renders a high impact? How do we achieve these goals in partnership with all of you to meet the needs of each and every diverse family in our community? I am placing a link in the chat box now for our current Title I District Parent and Family Engagement Plan. So if you need that, it's available in the chat box as well.
Thank you, Dr. Breedlove. And if you did register for this meeting in advance, parents and families, you will have received the English and the Spanish family engagement plans in your email. So hopefully you did receive those in advance of this meeting so that you will have had the opportunity to review them in advance so that you know what we're developing and revising today. So our instructions for today, if you registered, again, you will understand that we're doing a thought exchange today. So in just a few minutes, we're going to go through each question, and you're going to see a QR code on your screen. And that QR code is linked to a question. And some of those questions will also have survey questions that you will need to answer before you get to the thought exchange question. And you'll have a few minutes per topic after the facilitator has described each component. And Ms. Coxton is going to go into the details of how this thought exchange works. Oh, you're on mute, Ms. Coxton.
Look, I was ready to go. Good morning, families. We are extremely excited just to have you a part of this planning process. We truly believe as a district that we are better together when we are connected with our families and we are connected with our stakeholders in order to truly capture what we desire for our student outcomes. And so today, we're going to be able to ensure that all voices are heard and captured through thought exchange. And so right now, we're going to go and get you set up and ready to participate. So in just a few moments, this is what it looks like from your phone. So we want to kind of walk you through just a few moments. We're going to begin, and you're actually going to be able to, from your phone, scan the QR code, or if you're on a computer, you'll be able to click the link that's dropped in our chat, and then you'll go to directly to the thought exchange. Before getting started, we have a few survey questions that really helps us to be able to analyze the data. And then we go into you sharing your perspective on the question. And then finally, being able to see others' perspective and then rate them to where if it's most aligned with what you're thinking is a star of 5. And if, I haven't thought about that, then you might rate that a level 1 star. So let's go on to the next slide and let's show you how it looks. So as you log in, first, you're going to see where you can choose what language you would like for those questions to be presented to you in. Then next, you're going to see the quick introduction, quickly how you answer the questions, and then you're going to have a brief introduction from us about the thought exchange. So just as you see, those quick demographic questions could just let us know if you're a parent, a community member, a member of the district staff, and then the question will appear. So right there, you'll be able to put in as many thoughts around the question that you would like. And the one thing that we want you to do is after you share your thought, tell us why it's important to you, because that's going to help us to truly align our thinking and how we move forward in the development of this plan. Once you've submitted all your thoughts around that question, then you'll click on where you can go to rating the other thoughts. So then that's where you're going to be able to see all of the other perspectives of everyone on this meeting. Like I said, level 5 means that's most aligned to your thinking. A star of 1 meaning, I haven't thought about it. It's not really where I feel that our top priority needs to be. All right.
All right. So thank you for that, Ms. Coxton. We're getting ready to get started. This is going to be our first thought exchange question. And some of you may be familiar with the platform because you've used it before. But for those of you who aren't, it's very easy and simple. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free. The Q&A is open on this meeting, or you can type it in the chat as well. If you have any questions or concerns outside of the thought exchange, feel free to just give us a chat. And let us know, or if you have a question to ask. Now, the Henry County School District does provide multiple ways for parents and families to provide feedback and participate in the development of the district parent and family engagement plan, as well as the consolidated LEA improvement plan, and we call that the CLIP, and the school improvement plans as well. Some of you may have even been a part of the community conversations that was held by the district. That was another way that we provide opportunities for families to give input. So the first question is, how can we continue to ensure that all Title I parents and families in the Henry County District have the opportunity to provide input on this plan, the 2023 Parent and Family Engagement Plan, the District Improvement Plan, which we call the CLIP, as well as provide additional feedback throughout the year. So in just a second, we're going to put that QR code up on the screen for you. It has the question attached to it. Dr. Breedlove is also dropping in the chat the link that links directly to that thought exchange question, just in case you're on your phone and you need to click a link or you're having trouble scanning the QR code. So we'll give you a few moments here to scan that QR code or click on the link to start answering your first question. And there may be at least one, I believe there's one survey question that you'll come to before you're actually given the opportunity to answer the thought exchange question. And it's just going to ask you your role. Now, I want to say one thing about that question. You'll see it repeated a few times throughout. And that's because each thought exchange question is its own entity. It has its own link. So for each question, we may ask you what your role is so that we still know. It's not tracking you through the entire survey, it's tracking you per question. So we need to just know who's answering these questions. So that helps to enrich our data. And we thank you for participating in this today.
So right now, families, we have about 15 participants already in. So thank you for getting logged in. And I know you're answering those demographic questions right now. So as we see on the screen, let's see who's going to get that first thought in around this question. Oh, there we go. We have a thought. Let's keep it going.
I love watching the thought exchange develop. It's so interesting to me how it connects and joins all of the thoughts and the opinions. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that thought is up there. So I'd love to just address this right now. That's a great comment. So after this is over, for any parent who was not able to attend, we are going to post all of this, and they will still have the opportunity to participate in this thought exchange throughout the rest of our school year. So you can even share it with other friends and family members and other parents that you know. You'll be able to share this. The schools will still share it, and they'll be able to have the same access that you had today in a secondary method to participate in this thought exchange. So that's a great first thought to go from. All right, so they're coming in.
Absolutely. And we're going to give our families about another 2.5 minutes just to really get input on this. And after you get your thoughts in, make sure you then switch over and start to rate other perspectives so that we can see how we are truly aligned in our thinking. And so we know which direction we want to go as a district. Yes, we already have a rating. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes.
I love this part of thought exchange.
So as you can see, everyone has the opportunity to have their voice heard. And then we are connecting with each other's perspective and then finding our alignment. So we are super excited. I would love if we can get up to about 15 to 20 thoughts. And let's see if we can hit over 50 ratings in this first question. I think we're going to do it.
And also, parents and families, as you are rating other people's thoughts and opinions, the thought exchange that we did from last year, you may have participated last year, that is available for you to view on our Title I Parent and Family Engagement webpage. We actually summarized all of the results from our thought exchange and our annual evaluation last year. And we combined them in a PowerPoint that you can view so that you can see the highest rated thoughts and opinions from last year as well that went into consideration to revise the current parent and family engagement plan. So you're participating this year so that we can revise the current for next school year for FY24. So this is exciting. So if you want to see what parents said last year, take some time at some point. We're going to drop that link in later in the meeting so that you know where to go to view those results from last year.
Absolutely, Kim. And also, as we're getting down to our last 20 seconds in this one question, all thought exchanges will be open until May 19th, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that way, if you are like, hey, I thought about something else, you can definitely log back in and provide more perspective and then rate other perspectives. So we thank you so much for the first question. And now we're about to pop in and go on to our next question.
Absolutely. Great point. Log back in.
So our next topic is around strengthening our schools. It is extremely important that professional development for our staffs in order to support our schools is ongoing. So Henry County School provides guidance around professional development on how we can effectively enact parent and family engagement practices within our school and how to implement those practices within um, our school buildings. So implementation is important. So as technical assistance is provided and training is provided, we want to make sure that we're doing everything necessary to be able to provide that quality professional development so that those things that are rolled out in excellence to our parents. So here is the question that we have as it relates to strengthening our schools. What ongoing guidance and professional development can the district provide to schools to, to support school, parent, and family engagement programs? So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our thought exchange. And the exact same method that you use for the very first one to provide that feedback that is genuine and authentic, we would love for you to do the exact same thing in this thought exchange. So at this time, if you have not already done so, please go ahead and scan the QR code or utilize the join.com link that's on the screen and go ahead and start the process of rating.
So parents, I just want to point out too, thank you for answering the survey questions. For this one, it does have one survey question. It's important that we know what types of events and activities that you attended this year and in the community, because we want to know if those are the things that you attended, we want to make sure that we're continuing to do those things as well. So this information will be shared with all of the school liaisons who will then, consider that feedback when they are revising their family engagement plans as well.
And what we do love is that your feedback allows them to customize those specific events for your particular school. So
Yes.
again, we would love for you, of course, to give your input, but if you have parents, again, that live in your community, everyone's thoughts about what we can do to strengthen those programs is extremely important because, again, nothing that we produce do we want to be cookie cutter. It definitely needs to be something that is necessary and authentic for your specific school community.
Absolutely.
All right. And so as soon as we get our first thought, I will start our timer. And we'll begin engaging with each other around this question. All right. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, they've got the hang of it now.
Absolutely. We already have ratings happening. Awesome.
Yeah, and so parents, I want to also bring some clarification to this question. This really has to do with staff training. And we need to know what is it that you feel would help our school staffs in better engaging with you as parents and families. So all ideas are welcome. All suggestions are welcome. Perhaps, creating a more welcoming environment, signage, how to just make our environment more conducive to families and maybe using, your gifts and talents, like how to more effectively engage and communicate with you as parents and families.
Kim, can I just pull out just really quickly and just highlight the thought around that homeschool connection through training on the HMH program for parents would be beneficial. This is so powerful because as we receive information like this, we can share with other divisions and department within our district to
Yes.
align and understand what our family needs. So I just really appreciate the thoughts that are coming up. Please, let's share more around this, and then let's rate, because we truly want to make sure the services that we provide within our district are truly the services that our families need. So thank you so much for all the thoughts that are coming in. I love this.
Yes, and that was highly rated too. We're so glad to know that tutoring is helping. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So as we are coming down to the last minute and a half, if we can get some additional thoughts, like I would love to see at least 15 around this question. I know we have 17 participants. It would be great if we had 17 to match the 17, but let's see it as a goal. Can we get up to 15? And remember, as a parent, you can share more than one thought around the question as well.
Mm, love that. Training on cultural diversity.
Yes.
These are great ideas. Great ideas.
And Ms. Howard, there was a question in the chat box needing or just requesting some more clarification on what the question is actually asking.
Absolutely. So one of our requests, one of our requirements in Title I is to train staff, build staff's capacity to effectively engage with parents and families, and how to reach out to you as parents and families, how to value the contributions that you bring to the school and to the community, even building parent programs, coordinating, collaborating. How do we build that partnership between the staff and families that centers around joint accountability for the child's education, so that we're partnering together in your child's education? And we want to make sure that we're listening to you and taking your ideas into consideration when we're doing staff training and family engagement. So that is something that every school is required and responsible for. The family engagement liaison is your bridge between home and school. And so definitely we want you to share these ideas with your family engagement liaison as well, because that helps us to develop the training content for staff when we're doing family engagement training. So all of your ideas, thoughts, and opinions go into helping us develop the training materials for staff when we're building their capacity to effectively engage with families. So I hope that gave more clarification, and thank you for asking that question. And you can let me
And
know.
so I've added another minute to that. So now that we provided clarification, just in case a couple more parents would like to engage in thoughts and then ratings around this. But just like we talked about before, this will be open until May 19th. And so definitely, as you think about this and you want to add more perspective, you can always come back and come back into the links and add more thoughts.
Yes.
I feel like we can get to 100 ratings on this. This is great. Thank you so much. We're at 83. Let's see if we can rate a couple more.
All right. Coming down to the end of this question.
All right. So our next topic is around reservation of funds. So the Henry County School District reserves 1% of our Title I funds, our Title I Part A funds, to allocate for the upcoming school year for us to carry out the parent and family engagement requirements. Those funds are allocated in alignment with your school's continuous school improvement plan. So the question that we're going to have you provide input regarding around is, how can parents and family members of eligible Title I students be involved in the decision making regarding these funds and how they're spent in family and parent engagement activities? So again, we're going to go through the thought exchange process again. And again, you're going to take your time and answer the question again. How can parents and family members of eligible Title I students be involved in the decisions regarding how those funds are spent for family and parent engagement activities? So again, take your time and go through the thought exchange and think about, things that you want to do in order to be involved in that process. Possibly attending your school's Title I meeting. Your voice can definitely be heard in that capacity as it relates to the reservation of funds, so that you know exactly how those funds will be allocated for your specific school. So again, we're going to wait and see those things pop up on the screen for your thoughts, and provide that feedback to us as a district around what we can do to provide you that engagement, opportunities to engage in this process.
Awesome. We're going to have 4 minutes to engage on this topic as soon as we see that first thought pop up. So, families, we're extremely excited to get your input on this one.
And families, again, like I said earlier, you have that select your role question one more time. And so we really appreciate you answering those survey questions each time that you have a thought exchange question. So some of you may be familiar with your family engagement room or parent resource center or family resource center. Sometimes they're called in schools. Every school does have a parent resource center where there are several educational games, resources, materials, all available to families to check out. I hope that you know this. All you have to do is get in contact with your family engagement liaison, and they will get you connected to using those materials. And they're available in the school for you to use at no charge. All you have to do is check them out with your family engagement liaison. So this question is connected to those resources and materials that you need to assist your child at home. And some of you probably have checked out materials from your resource center, and we're excited about that. So, what are some of those things that you need?
And I love that, Kim. I love the fact that you mentioned things for them to check out, but they can also be things that you could utilize inside of the school building. For example, if there is a parent resource room that you might want to go and work on resume writing for yourself. So this is resources for the family, not just resource for your students. So that can help you be in a better position to support your students. So let us know about things that we could potentially have added to those rooms with those funds, so that we can be a benefit to not only the students, but to parents as well, because this is about family engagement, not just the student in particular. So we want to make things better for parents as well.
Thank you. Getting a lot of activity on this question. Okay.
I love the thought right now. Continue to share at fall and spring meetings how the budget is allocated and spent. Transparency, and see if there are other needs. Excellent point. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. Communication is the key. Send surveys, text, letters home to vote on how parents can and want to be engaged. Love it.
Yes. So parents, hopefully, you had the opportunity to attend your annual Title I parent meeting, usually held in the fall of each year. So we're required to hold those meetings prior to November 1st of each year. So the next annual Title I parent meeting that is coming up, of course, will be next fall. In each Title I school, the school will be holding that very important meeting. It may be, it's in the format like of a town hall, or a state of the school. Sometimes they've been called in the past, but it is that informational meeting that happens in the fall at every Title I school that brings parents together to inform you of all of the things that are going on at the school with Title I family engagement, also curriculum, assessments, testing. That is your informational meeting. So I want to make sure that I plant that seed in your head now so that in the fall, when we come back to school in August, you'll be looking for that meeting and watching for the invitation to join that meeting at your individual schools. And that's a very important meeting because at that meeting, that is probably the first place you're going to hear about your school's Title I funding and that budget and your family engagement funds. So make sure you mark your calendars. I'm telling you now, mark your calendars so that next fall, when you come back to school in your Title I schools, look for that annual Title I parent meeting. And I'm hoping to meet some of you at some of those meetings. So make sure you come to that.
All right, we're going to move on. But before we move on to our next question, I love that continue to have platforms for feedback. Feedback is critical and key. And so just letting you know, families, that this information will also be shared with our principals so that they can have this information and really take in your perspectives and really apply it at the school level as well.
Yes.
Man, what a lead into my section. Parent engagement, parent and family engagement evaluation. So that's exactly what we're talking about, Ms. Coxton. And I read on some of your feedback from the thought exchange. You want to be part of the decision-making process. You as parents and families and community members, you want to have your voices heard. That's what we're here for. So the Henry County School District uses many opportunities for you as a parent and or family member to provide your feedback. Here's just a few ways in Henry County Schools that we kind of seek that feedback. So you have the opportunity at your annual parent surveys made available in schools, in the community, as well as posted on the district website. There's also feedback opportunities gathered at the district input meeting. That's what we're here right now. And that will help evaluate the content and effectiveness of the district parent and family engagement plan. And then finally, at every time your school hosts an event, there is an opportunity for you to provide feedback specifically on activities that may improve academic quality of your school building. We are all here to seek the best support for our students, and we're all here with the same goal. We all want our students to achieve at the highest level possible. So now what we really want to know is, how do we engage more parents, family members, and the community in participating in these annual evaluations? So as always, I think you guys have the hang of this, but here's your QR code as well as your link. And I do want to point out a few things about the survey questions that you're going to be asked. There are three. There's the role question, which is there every time. So you're used to that one. But there's also a question about what kind of barriers might prevent families from attending and participating in parent involvement activities at school, as well as what are your thoughts and ideas about how those barriers could be removed. So I want you to think about What is keeping you or other families you may know from attending some of those family engagement activities in your building? I'm a parent as well, and I know there are times, there are things that I wish, oh, if only this was the case. Like if this was removed, I could definitely be there. This is your opportunity to share that. Sometimes we don't know the perspective of your family, of your parents. And so we would love to gain that. Keep in mind, I think this has been said before, but it's worth saying again, these responses are anonymous. Mm-hmm. So be transparent, because when you can speak your thoughts and feelings, that's when change can start to happen. So we are all here to better support you as families in our community.
Great points, Dr. Breedlove. Thank you for that. Yes, and to her point, also, if you see a comment that you highly or strongly agree with, and you rate that comment with 4 or 5 stars, that also lets us know that's important to more than just one person. So if you see someone else comment on a barrier or make a comment in the thought exchange question, and the more ratings it has, that really gets our attention, that's something that's really important to more than one family.
All right, we're going to start our timer. And families, we are just so thankful. I'm looking back in our other thought exchanges, questions that we've already answered today, and I still see ratings happening. I still see comments coming in. And so this is so powerful, because we truly believe in Henry County Schools that in order for us to be better together, we have to have connectivity to where all perspectives are taken into consideration, and it is truly aligned in how we move as an organization. And so meetings like this, just like the one in which we utilize our community conversations, this is how we truly ensure that our board is informed and advised around the perspectives of our family as well as our community, so that we can truly ensure that we're providing our students with a quality education. So thank you so much for your thoughts, and most importantly, your ratings and perspectives, because this truly helps us to be better together. So thank you.
And I also want to mention, it's okay if you repeat a thought. You may have answered, given a similar answer on another thought exchange question, and you feel like you're going to be repeating yourself. But remember, these thought exchange questions are looked at individually. So we don't want you to hold back on any thought exchange. If it applies, if a comment that you made earlier to another thought exchange applies to another question, then absolutely say it again. Because, different parents are going to see this at different times. And so that way, that comment will be on another thought exchange that they may see and have a different perspective. So I know that I've seen some earlier comments that could have been answered to, other questions. So, feel free to say something that seems repetitive or similar. If it applies, we welcome that, so that, other parents have the opportunity to see that thought as well.
So currently we have 19 participants and 6 thoughts. So we definitely want to get the thoughts number up. So if you've rated and you want to go back and add in some more thoughts and ideas that really capture your perspective around this, please do so. We want to make sure that we truly capture your voice, your ideas, so that we can truly utilize this data to inform decisions.
Ms. Coxon, I want to address one I see as well. It says, share all year that an annual evaluation will be taking place. I do want to make sure that families know that, and I appreciate that, because that tells us we need to do a better job at getting the word out. Our annual family engagement program evaluation has actually been up on our website since September, and we've got over 300 responses already. So that tells me that there's some parents that maybe weren't aware of that. So thank you for that comment, because that's letting me know I've got to do a better job at making sure that the word is out, that's up there, so that that you can start commenting, early in the year. So our annual family engagement program evaluation is up on our Title I Parent and Family Engagement page. We're going to be giving you the link to that page later in the meeting. So I want you to take note of that. And then, you can go at any time during the year, even though the Thought Exchange is going to be open through May 19th. At any time during the year, you can always leave your feedback on the annual program evaluation. Because we look at that throughout the year, and we consider that feedback throughout the year to make changes either on our current practices or future practices. So that's available all the time. And we'll make sure that you have that link. Your family engagement liaisons also have that link and should have gotten that information out to families and parents. So make sure you look for that as well, and you'll be invited to do that at the end of the meeting. Again, because we want to take feedback in all different formats and platforms and ways, and we want to put it in different places so that you have those opportunities more frequently. So I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much.
I do too, because it does let us know that we need to do a better job. And we are saying to you right now, we will. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. And acknowledging our family engagement liaisons who do an amazing job. They really do, of getting the word out. And it's evident by the parents that we have registered for this meeting who registered and actually came in. So thank you to our family engagement liaisons. I know that it was because of you that we do have over 300 responses to our annual survey on our website. So I want to say I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I love about this meeting here, this is around our district parent engagement. And so this is the responsibility and of our district. And so what we love is that you're able to give us input on our district perspective of how we're doing things. And then at the school level, they have meetings just like this. So then you can also give that perspective around the school-based level. And so I just want to thank each parent, each district member who is on the call today, because as a Title I team, your feedback helps us to streamline our processes and procedures, and it truly helps us to ensure that we are providing you with the quality customer service that you need in order to engage in your child's education. And so this is just so important to us as a Title I team, but most importantly, it's important to our entire district. The voices of our families and our community is exactly what we need in order to see and be the change we want to see for our students here in Henry County. So again, thank you so much. And we're almost to the end. So we want to continue to get your thoughts and your perspective on how we can provide quality customer service to you. We are so excited. Thank you so much for being a part of this meeting.
And Ms. Coxton, I don't know if you noticed it, but people were sending you hearts throughout your comments just then. So I feel like it's a shared opinion of some of our participants. And I think we're building momentum in this thought exchange, in this open conversation. So let's keep it going. So one of the continued goals of Henry County Schools is to build parent capacity for strong parent and family engagement in order to ensure effective involvement of our parents and families to support a partnership among Title I schools, families, and the community to improve student achievement. So what we want to know from you, how can the district coordinate with schools and community organizations to strengthen communication and enhance the potential opportunities for parent and family engagement, including assistance with successful school transitions? And the transitions we're speaking of in this question is helping to prepare students from pre-K to kindergarten, from elementary school to middle school to high school, and high school to beyond. So how can we as a district assist you in better preparing these students? So here's your QR code, and in the chat box, there is a link as well. There are a few survey questions that I'm just going to touch on briefly, like the Clip Notes version of these survey questions, just to help give more perspective to this question. basically what we're trying to figure out here, what we're trying to pull out of this question is which materials and training would best support you and your family to align with the state's standards, your academics. What can we do? Which ways best provide these resources to you as families? So if your student is having a struggle in a specific content area, what information or what resources would you need to help be successful? And what's the best way to get that information to you? So those are just some survey questions that might kind of jumpstart your thinking for the thought exchange.
All right, we have 12 participants already in this question, 13. And our timer will start as soon as we have our first thought.
So I just want to mention that last year on this question, we got a few ideas and we did take those into consideration. And so we're going to build on them every year. Last year, it was important to families that joint events for transitional grades be held. One idea was, for example, they said a fifth and sixth grade fun night to introduce parents and children to the new school. They said this removes anxiety and helps get early parent and student buy-in. So we, look at these ideas and we take those into consideration as we're doing planning from the district level. Since it's my job to support the schools and do their professional development, I share these ideas that we receive to assist schools in developing their programs as well. Another idea that came in was to provide a checklist for these transition periods so that parents know the important information that they need. So we have done that in schools. This was the feedback from last year. So we do take these ideas into consideration. And we use them to, like Ms. Coxon said, to develop district practices, as well as when it impacts the schools, we do the professional development to ensure that we're building their programs as well.
Absolutely, Kim. And can I just add to that? Because the one you just talked about, the checklist, what do families need to know for their children as they transition between levels, that comment that was brought up last year was so powerful to our organization, to our superintendent, and to our board, that is now a part of our strategic plan. And so really having that vertical alignment and transition that was brought and inspired by our families, that is actually a part of our strategic plan now. And so this is why meetings like this are so important, because we're able to really inform and advise our board and our superintendent around the perspectives of our families, because that is exactly what they want to know, so that as they develop policy, as they develop procedures, and most importantly, as they develop the vision for our district, that we are truly aligned and we are better together. And so thank you so much, because that comment from last year has elevated all the way into being a part of our strategic plan. Awesome.
It's great to know. I'm loving the comments that I'm seeing too, by the way. Now, I always find it interesting that several parents always ask for even more opportunities. to be involved and to share their feedback. So I love to know that parents, it's important to you as well to have those opportunities.
Parents, thank you so much for all of the thoughts you're putting in there. I'm a proud parent of 4 Henry County students myself. And I am reading your comments and I'm like, yeah, we do need to do that. Yeah, that's another great idea. So I appreciate you sharing your ideas as a parent like I am, so that I can learn from all of you today too. So not only do we want your input about how we can assist parents and families by providing opportunities for you, but we also value your input about ways to build our staff capacity. So what that means is that part of our parent engagement and parent family engagement plan includes the steps that we will take to make sure that we have effective partnerships with our families. And so we really value your ideas about topics or additional trainings for our staff about effective ways to partner and engage with our family and community members. So for this question, we're asking, how can schools and the district build partnerships with parents and the community that encourage parent and family engagement? So some examples might be topics like ways to have strong partner communications, or ways to connect parents in the community, or ways to collaboratively work together to make a plan for student success. Earlier, we asked for ideas around professional development that we could share with our staff so they can better engage with you. And this is another opportunity where if you've thought of something since then, just through the conversation and gotten additional ideas like I have, you might put that in there. But also really letting us know, what are the things that are important to you as parents in building those strong partnerships? So Katie's going to put up that QR code. Please go ahead. I know that it's question after question, but this feedback that we're getting is so incredibly valuable, and the words you type are going to lead to change. And so we really appreciate that. And we're looking forward to seeing those comments that come in up on this question as well.
All right, families, as soon as we have our first thought, we'll begin our timer.
So I'll just share some of the feedback that was given last year on this question as well. It was highly rated. It was actually ranked number 2. It was the number 2 thought of 25 thoughts on this question. And it says, have open and honest communication. Surveys are good, but we need more face-to-face communication to build trusting relationships. So I love that. That's so important to build those trusting relationships. And as a result, once more of your feedback, parents, we developed a module for all Title I schools to do training in building trusting relationships. So that was a very important comment, which impacted change to all of our family engagement programs and to our Title I schools. There is actually a training module now that family engagement liaisons deliver for building our staff's capacity or in their staff training to build those trusting relationships. So I don't know, this is anonymous, so I don't know what parent it was or what stakeholder it was that suggested that last year, but that's another example how we took that feedback to heart and we developed that training module for our staff. So answer away. We love your feedback and we love reading it, and we do take it into consideration. We value your time today.
And Kim, that is just so powerful because once again, the voices of our families are aligned and evident in our district's community inspired strategic plan. So a part of our strategic plan is to ensure that our students and our families are connected to a caring adult within our buildings so that they have a true advocate and as they move through for their child's experience and their educational just their educational journey. And so just to hear that through this type of meeting and the other meetings that we have in our district, that our families' voices are not only just being heard, but we're actually engaging and enhancing our programming to ensure that we bring those desires, those perspectives, to life for our students. So thank you so much. Right now we have 14 participants, 5 thoughts. So let's click over and see what this year is bringing to us around this. Yes, I love that. Making sure that we build those strong relationships and partnerships at our school.
And I want to share too with our family. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Compton.
Yes. I was going to say, I got super excited when I saw the Sit and Get Title I meetings of just giving that feedback versus the sit and get. Like, I love that. Like, we have to have that mixture and variety. And so that's a great perspective and idea that we can give not only for what we do here, but then down to the school level, because we want you to have a variety of engagement. And so I just wanted to thank that. We need that, those types of perspectives.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. They want more and more opportunities. So I love that. And I want to let our parents and families know this is only my second year. I'm not even through a whole second year yet with Henry County. So I'm still kind of new. I consider myself a neophyte of sorts. But I have lots of ideas and vision for this program. And so I'm excited about all of these ideas because I am working on so many things for families that I can't just talk about quite yet. But being in my second year, I am taking all of this in. And I'm looking forward to meeting more of you across the district. I'm trying to get out to some of the family programs at our schools. So if you see me out, say hi and come and introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you. But I'm seeing some great ideas that I really want to incorporate into the training and the professional development of our liaisons and bring to our schools and to our district. There are some ideas I'm seeing that, I would love to incorporate into our district family engagement program. So just, I appreciate you once again. If you see me at these events, come and say hi. All right. We're almost there, parents. We thank you for hanging in there with us. We are almost there.
The next topic that we need your feedback on is all about accessibility. And basically, this is going to explain how we can ensure that all of our families can fully participate and engage with their schools, especially thinking about those families that may experience barriers that make involvement in the school more challenging. And so, in our current plan, to the extent feasible, the Henry County School Districts provides opportunities for the full participation of parents and family members who may have limited English proficiency, parents and families with disabilities, and parents and family members with migratory children, to help ensure that they get communicated with the school information in a format and in a language that the parents can understand. And we want your input and ideas about ways that we can ensure this happens for all of our families, because it's critically important that we get the perspectives and the input from all of our families, and that all families can fully participate in the school experience. And so for the next question, we're asking, how can the district ensure that parents who speak limited English, parents with disabilities, homeless families, and parents of migratory children are included in the full participation of the school parent engagement programs? So you may or may not, as the thought exchange comes up, you may or may not be a parent who falls into one of those categories. So this gives you that opportunity to think about what it might be like for another parent who may be in those categories and facing some of those barriers to being fully involved. And so you might have some ideas that we haven't incorporated yet, or maybe you are one of those parents and this is your opportunity to speak up and say, hey, if you could do this for us, this would really help us to be able to fully participate. And if there are some other things outside of just these topics and outside of just these areas where we talked earlier about removing those barriers, ways to make sure that every parent can fully access the parent and family engagement program at your school, because it's so critically important that you're involved. There's so many research studies about how the student academic success increases when parents are fully engaged in the school process. And so this plan is all about making sure that on our side of the table, we are giving all the supports necessary to invite you in to fully participate and make sure that all parents feel welcome and invited to participate in their children's education. And so as you're answering this question, make sure you think about those perspectives. If you are one of those parents, how we could help you access the program more fully. And then if there are other things that you can think about, please put those ideas in there, because those ideas will be put into action and in making sure that all of our parents can fully participate.
As soon as we get our first thought, we'll start our timer. Mm-hmm. Yes, great feedback on this one.
One of the comments, Ms. Coxon, that really caught my eye was the one about assessing parent needs. And
Yes.
so I can see just making sure that, we're aware of the needs that our families have so that we can provide the supports and accommodations so that they can fully access and participate in the program.
You know what, Crystal, I love that one. And then this one also caught my eye. Provide a space for families to feel comfortable to explain what they need and how you can help. I love that.
And that can be really hard as a parent. I know myself as a parent, it can be really hard to say that I need help from the school with something. And so this opportunities like this input meeting is a way that I can put my voice in. I don't necessarily have to attach my name to my voice, but I can let the district know what I need as a parent without necessarily having to put my name to it.
Yes.
And I love how they also answered, how they said the district offers more than parents realize. So it goes back to, we just have to communicate it and get it out there and ensure that we're bridging those gaps between the homes and schools and make sure that families are aware. So even though they suggested that feedback, they also know that we offer a lot of services. Maybe families just aren't aware of them.
Absolutely. So as we come down to our last 20 seconds in this thought exchange, once again, parents, we just want to thank you so much for just being transparent with us on today. The first step to truly getting to transformation is everyone having authentic conversations and transparency. So thank you so much as we are getting ready to get into our last question for today.
And so parents and families and other stakeholders that are on the call with us today, we are down to our last question. You hung in there with us. Thank you so much. This is our last question, and then we'll just ask you to stay on just for a moment more to give you some announcements and final remarks. But what opportunities did you participate in this year? Easy, right? We want to know what actually drew you to the school or to the district. What opportunities did you participate in either at the district level or your school level? These can be anything from your parent-teacher conferences, academic parent workshops, math or literacy nights, school governance, community conversations. What drew you? Where did you go this year? We want to know what you participated in. And so even with rating others' thoughts, if you also went to that, you can, just rate it a 5, like, hey, I went to that too. Or if you liked it, if you went to something like that and you really enjoyed that type of event, you can rate it with a high rating. Or if it wasn't as effective or productive as you thought, you can rate that as well. But we want to know where you went this year. What did you participate in at the district and your schools, your children's schools? And I think we're actually going to end a little early today. We allot an hour and a half for these meetings. We're either going to be right on time or we might end just before 11:30. So we really do appreciate your time today, families. And I'll take this time to say, while you are reading your last question and preparing to give your thoughts, this meeting will repeat this evening at 5:30. So I know that some parents may not have been able to stay on the entire hour and a half. If you want to come back and participate again, you are certainly welcome. If you want to tell, another family member about the opportunity and they can join us tonight at 5:30, certainly do that. We would appreciate it if you did that. We'll put the links. The links you should have been emailed to both meetings. I believe it's the same link. We'll do a separate recording though. And again, we're going to summarize all of this data after it's all been collected after May 19th. And we're going to, again, put it on the website for you so you can also see the results, the highest rated results from the thought exchange. So make sure, you come back tonight or tell someone about tonight's meeting that we're having at 5:30. It will also be virtual, and it'll be a repeat of this meeting, same content, but of course, with different attendees and different participants, some of the thoughts may be very different. And so it might be interesting to come back tonight and continue to rate thoughts from different attendees on this evening. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'd love to see this idea of a cluster event. That means that it's more than one school. It's that kind of elementary, middle, high connection. It does align to what we were talking about earlier, having these opportunities for families to get to know each other so that our kids can feel comfortable as they transition to different levels. So that's awesome to see.
Yes, and so I'm glad you mentioned that one, Ms. Coxton, because earlier when I talked about the 5th grade, 6th grade family fun night, we're planning to take more cluster approaches next year as part of our family engagement programming. I'm very proud of the McDonough cluster who this year did a cluster input meeting, and they combined it along with that community conversation. So I don't know if we have any parents on that are part of the McDonough cluster, but those family engagement liaisons did an excellent job of planning and putting that together. And our principals collaborated. It was truly a cluster collaboration. Our board was there, our superintendent was there. So it was just a fun event to be able to attend and see how that goes. And we had feedback from that already that says, hey, yes, we want to do more cluster events. So we're looking at, doing cluster events, especially for transition, because we know that families have more than one child and they're across every level. And it's easier for families and more convenient if we do have some more cluster events so that you just have to come one place, one time with all of your children. And that makes it a little easier. So we're recognizing that, we are acknowledging that, and we're starting to do the professional development to assist schools in planning those cluster events. And we love the collaboration among all the different levels and between administrative staffs and the family engagement liaisons. So that's something we're definitely looking forward towards for the future. So I'm glad to.
I was going to say thank you so much, Ms. Howard, because a parent actually put in the McDonough cluster event. So we are definitely seeing that is something that our families are really engaged in. And the great thing about it, for everyone that's on this call, this feedback will be shared with our principals and with other district members and other stakeholders. So where we're seeing that alignment and parents wanting to see that come to fruition for our district, we'll be able to share and then connect other principals with other principals about who have already started that journey on how they can make that happen for their cluster as well. So thank you guys so much for your feedback.
All right. And so that was our last thought exchange question. Don't be sad. Like I said, it's going to be open for a little while longer. And if you have any other questions, we did have one in the chat and we were able to answer that. So in a minute, you'll get to see my email, and you can also email me directly. But if you have any other questions at this time outside of the thought exchange, feel free to put those in the Q&A or in the chat, and we'll try to get those answered for you before you leave or contact you directly. And we just, again, thank you for your participation today. And before you go, can I ask you to do one more QR code? And it's not Thought Exchange connected. It is our QR code for our evaluation. So we already had a few comments in the chat. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Lee, Ms. Bennett. Thank you. Thank you for those awesome comments and for appreciating this platform. This evaluation evaluates this meeting. So it is going to ask you, did you enjoy this type of platform and this type of meeting? So if you could scan that, and the link is also in the chat, just tell us, give us feedback on this particular meeting. Nothing else, just how this meeting went. And again, as Ms. Coxton mentioned earlier, Feedback for the Thought Exchange is going to be welcome through May 19th of this year. The Thought Exchange will be active through May 19th, but you can still give your feedback throughout the year. So make sure you share this opportunity, share your experience with today. Make sure you're telling other families and parents. We're going to be back tonight at 5:30 to do this again. And we just want to, so we're giving you time to access that. And I'm going to also send this evaluation link back out to registered participants. So if you're having to go now, or you don't get a chance to do the survey on the evaluation on the meeting, I'll make sure that you have that link as well in an email, so you can also do it later. And just a minute, we're going to show you the link for the annual, well, it's clicked in the PowerPoint. Dr. Breedlove is going to put that in our chat as well. So I mentioned earlier about our annual parent and family engagement evaluation for our entire program district-wide. That has been up on our Title I Parent and Family Engagement page all year since September, and we have hundreds of responses on that. So again, that is something that's open all year around, every year. We might change the date and put a new one up, but this one's going to be open through June 30th, and then we'll put the new one up in the fall for next school year. But feel free to comment on that as well. It's going to ask you a few different things. Let's see, what else? Oh, your school level input survey. Yes, absolutely. While this screen is still up, your family engagement liaison, you should hear about your own, Ms. Coxton mentioned this earlier as well, your own input meeting for your school level. So you should be hearing very soon, if you haven't already, about your the opportunity to attend your school input meetings, where you'll get to revise and jointly develop your school parent compact, your school parent and family engagement plan. You'll have the opportunity to also give feedback on how they spend the family engagement funds at the school level, as well as staff training. So some of the same topics you'll get to give feedback at your school level input meeting and participate in their survey as well. So if you haven't gotten that information yet, you can ask your family engagement liaison, or you can watch for it because it's coming soon. And finally, I invite you to follow me on Twitter. There is my email on the screen, kimberly.howard@henry.k12.ca.us. Feel free to email me any other further questions that you have, or any comments or concerns. If you want me to contact you directly, please leave your phone number and your name, and I will make sure that I do that. Also follow me on Twitter at KimHoward_HCS. You can also follow the Title I program at HCS_Title_capital I. That is a capital I. And then the Henry County Board of Ed at Henry County BOE. So we thank you for coming today again. And I want to turn it over now to our new Federal Programs Director, Mr. Blevins, and let him give us final closing remarks. And thank you for all the reactions. I love it.
Thank you, Ms. Howell, for this opportunity to just thank everyone for joining us. I truly appreciate it. It's been a very informative session. I know that parents is a key part of our district strategic plan, as well as the work that we do in Title I. So parents, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this. And you can rest assured that you will see some changes based on the feedback that you're given. Once again, thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you. And that's it. We're giving you 8 minutes back. So thank you, parents and families.
Thank you so much. Please tell a friend. We definitely want your feedback. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.